Hey, welcome back. So a few months ago, we installed the Archetype steps on Felix's Jeep, and we said that we'll be really interested in coming back and doing a review of them after a couple months.
Yeah, so today is actually exactly 3 months. If you want to see the installation video, I'll put it up here. But I mean, I like the look. Obviously, I got them because I like the look. They've held up well. They're not jiggly. I hadn't had to retighten them or anything like that. So the biggest two issues I would say is A, the initial price. They're pretty expensive. And B is just the way that they attach. They don't necessarily go in what would be considered the perfect placement.
Yeah, so I had a big concern because they're not actually bolted in; they're just clamped on, and I had a big concern about whether or not they'd stay sturdy. And I was going to ask, have you tightened them? But they are on there. 3 months in, and you use it every day. It's not like you're getting in once in a while, and they're on there. I was on here earlier, just about trying to put a lot of force on them. They are on there. They're sturdy. So that's good. As you mentioned, the bad, I think actually in front, this positioning is fine. In back, but in back, it's actually not positioned really well. In fact, most of the step, if you come around here, most of the step is way in front of the door. And back here, if you don't really get a lot of it, like if you just picture your foot, I'm not able to get my entire foot on there at all to get in. Now, if you go with kind of like a sideways thing, you get a little bit, but it would be really nice if it could come back, further here.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's something that eventually they will do. And this is really all you have to do is you have to relocate the mounting points. Like the clamps can stay where they're at potentially, and maybe they can figure somehow to shift the step portion toward back.
Yeah, I mean, or just make the step bigger because they can't really move the mounting point too much because there's only one place where it can attach to the Jeep. And I think that really has to do with the fact that these weren't really made for Jeep. These were a Bronco product that I think that they realized, hey, we can sell these to Jeep owners. Obviously, a bigger market than Bronco as of right now.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, all you really need is this to just be maybe 4 more inches, or potentially just flip flop where, you know, this attaches here, and then there's some sort of a third attachment point here, just to shift it back. Literally 3 or 4 inches, I think, would do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, not bad. They do sell a whole single one that goes front to back, but that's like double the price of this. And
Yeah, and I'm not sure the point if you're going the whole path why you would do a clip-on and instead of an actual bolt-on
right,
sidestep.
and this whole point of this is kind of just for a minimal look.
Now, for me overall, between not great fit and the price, for me, it's kind of a miss. What about you?
Again, I just like honestly just the look of them. I know this is kind of looks over function, and you're more of a function kind of guy, function and looks. Um,
I'm not a fan of the looks either, to be honest.
the,
It kind of looks like when you have a full integrated setup, I think it looks much better than when you have this clamp on, you know, aftermarket looking thing. I think one of the benefits is that it is removable. It's not permanent. We have not removed it. I am very curious to see if there's any damage done. But again, this is rock slider. It
rock
doesn't
slider.
really matter if there's damage. But when you're talking about looks, I guess that is something that would matter. But that's the benefit to me. You go on the trails, you can take them off. You have your sliders on there, and then you can put them back on. Obviously, aftermarket steps, you kind of lose some of that clearance.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as function, I don't even use mine. I'll be honest, it actually gets in the way because I can get in and out without a step, and having a step on the driver's side is actually kind of annoying because I have
Yeah,
to
I think
like
that
climb over it.
yeah, you being a bit taller, I think this is more for most of your passengers. And
Yes.
we have, my wife, your wife, they have expressed that they're not big fans of these steps.
No, no, not
They
at
don't
all.
really give you a lot of help either because they are really high. You get aftermarket steps and you get a couple extra inches down here.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, because of the way they mount, they sit kind of high, so you're only really, gaining a couple inches of drop, where other steps, drop considerably low, which is a negative and a positive, right? It's a positive because it's easier to get in. It's a
Mhm.
negative that now you have something hanging that much lower on a Jeep when you're trying to go
Yeah,
clear
you definitely
sometimes.
lose clearance with steps. I think that for you not having a lift, this is an option. I think that if you would put an aftermarket lift and gain a couple inches or go with 37s or 38s, I think this starts becoming way too high for most of your passengers to even be able to get in or out.
Yeah, I may explore the electronic one. I forget what the company is, but the one that's like hidden, and then when you open the door, it drops down.
Yeah, even though that gives you clearance on the trails, that lasts about one time that you hit it on a rock. So,
Not a
but it
lot
is
of,
a cool step.
it is a cool step, and we don't not a lot of rock
And
climbing people are.
we haven't made a video installing that yet, so I'm all for it.
Stay tuned.
All right, well, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with more reviews and more installations.